So here we are, the last section of owning your greatness. I really hope you took last week to declare what you wanted. Curious how that felt for you. And I want to tell you a story because when I did that exercise and started to share it with a few people, I was actually shocked at what happened. If you know some of my story, I was moving out of a career that I'd been in pretty much my whole life. And I was about to step into the unknown. And I was using that, what is it I want, as a guide for me. That was literally what I was clear on. Someone heard that, saw my answers, and heard me talk about it, and reached out to me and said, you know what, I'd really love to invest in what you shared with me there. And I was caught off guard. I was shocked. I was like, I'm about to take the biggest leap of my life and use all my money to make this leap. And right when I did, someone said, hey, I want to help you take the leap. I'd love to invest in that. And I even asked later, like, what was it? Like, what part of that are you really feel good about? It was like just the whole thing. Something about it, I believe in what you shared. I was shocked because I had no clue that was going to happen. And I don't know what's going to happen in your life when you start to declare what you want. First, you kind of know it in here, but then you start to say it. You start to articulate in some ways. I'm curious, what's going to open up for you? What kind of doors are going to open because you're clear on where you're going? You might not know exactly how that's going to happen, but things are going to start to open up for you. And it starts there by just getting clear on it. So I hope you've been able to do that. As we put all these pieces together, I also want to share with you, you don't have to have it all figured out. Our temptation is like, I got to have all the steps mapped out. No, you just have to know the next step you're going to take. One of my favorite interviews of all time is Yvon Chouinard from Patagonia, the founder. And they said, you've been this successful business person. Like, how'd you do it? And his answer was so honest and true. He goes, when I feel something in my gut, I just take the next step and see how it feels. I love that. What would it look like for you to just take the next step and see how it feels? You're not committing to something. You're just committing to the next step. If it's a wrong step, you can say, I didn't really like that step. Great, you learned some really good stuff about yourself. But if things open up like it did for me, it's like, what would have happened if I didn't take that step? That's what's on the line, and that's what I want to challenge you with here. The cost of inaction is your life will pretty much just stay the same. But the benefit of action, just leaning into a couple of next steps, could open up a whole new world for you. I'm living in the kind of answer to the question of what is it I want? And I'm still kind of blown away by it. Nothing would make me happier if you had some of those experiences too. I'm living in the openness and the answer to the question I ask myself, what is it I want? So it's time for you to own your greatness. Let's put all these pieces together. Let's start taking that next faithful step and just see what happens. I hope you've enjoyed this, and we look forward to hearing some of your stories. Reach out to us. Tell us what your experience has been like going through this. And so glad you're getting to step into it, taking up some space for yourself. You're owning your greatness. Well done.